I always love if I get any opportunity uh, to talk with engineers. It's just fascinating for me. And Pune is also been my second love, I would say. It's an amazing city. I have spent some years of my life. I mean, years is probably a longer term, but I was working with KPIT and Cummins, so I visited Pune very frequently, and that was one place where I also thought that maybe I can settle down here. So it's an amazing. So thanks again. Thanks a lot for inviting me. Uh, Good morning, all, and appreciate your time for joining me today morning. And I hope everyone is keeping safe at their homes. So today I'm going to tell you a short story of so-called my professional life. And the 5 words is something which I have picked up uh, from how I have lived my professional career so far, what I learned out of it. So, as I mentioned, while I end up talking to students frequently, this invitation gave me a special excitement because science was my first love since childhood. And today I'm talking to engineering students. Although I work in a completely different field now, which is viewed with 3 words: finance, strategy, and operations. But my first love somewhere is still science. While I didn't end up actually fulfilling my dream of becoming engineer and dropped out after first year, I always feel excited when I meet engineers chasing their dream. It makes me feel how lucky you people are for having such an amazing access to education system, which I somehow ended up rejecting out of my immaturity. Many of you will eventually end up making the career you love. Now, of course, here I'm assuming that you are studying engineering out of your love and not just as a career option. As I mentioned, while my decision of leaving education or formal education was definitely not the wisest one, it certainly taught me few important aspects, and that's what I thought to share with you all. But before I go ahead, the first question I would like to address here is like, why did I leave education? Right? Then it gives me two prime reasons. A, my greed to make money at an early age. Or if I use some sophisticated words, then my entrepreneurial spirit. And another reason was not too exciting learning environment where most of students only entered thinking that this can give them good jobs. And rather than staying excited towards learning, my fellow students were simply focused on ratta, which gives them good score. And I didn't find them to be exciting company to be around with. With so much of confusion and dissatisfaction in my mind, at the same time, I was really lucky to have a great mentor since my childhood. And I would also like to highlight one of my engineering professor. Uh, these two people played a very important role, right? And yes, of course, my father was also an engineer and founder of the organization where I'm working right now. He taught me the greatest skill I think one can have is to learn. Since my primary school, every time I go to him with my problems or topics which I did not understand, all he will do is make me read again and again, read through different books. He will also often take me to library, he'll take me to laboratories, he'll take me to organizations, select books of confusing topics like mathematics or physics, and just sit with me. And while I'm reading or while I'm talking to people, at the end, he will just ask me one question: do you understand now? Well, this looked like a little long and boring process to me, if I be honest, at an early age, but it eventually gave me an out of the world confidence. The confidence that I can learn and I don't necessarily need somebody to teach me. There's so much literature available. If I have patience and desire to learn, I will always learn. This confidence actually helped me to take such a bold decision of changing the priority of life. Right? While majority of the world selects the priority of study first and earn later, I decided to do both together. I need to highlight one critical fact here that I am not giving this speech for inspiring all of you to take my route. I definitely know that this wasn't the right move in my life. But what I want to highlight here is learning is a lifelong journey. And the further you move with the career of your dream, more you will need to learn. While a degree courses gives you amazing knowledge of various subjects, what you need to really learn while moving ahead is the application of knowledge. And I've seen many engineers struggling in their early career because of two important reasons. First, thinking that knowing machines or technology is enough to support business. And second is people start thinking that theories and practical are different. So let me touch these two topics here. First topic, which I stated, is knowing machines or knowing technology is enough to support business. Of course, most businesses runs on creativity. At the same time, they also depend significantly on the processes which are beyond the technical knowledge. It requires knowledge of or perspectives of value chain, team management, customer management, costing, profitability, and whatnot. There are many such topics which you may not have studied. If you know how to learn, you will keep on expanding your knowledge and keep making your presence stronger in the business environment. Another strange thing I have observed, and in fact, even I thought the same in my early career, is that people differentiate what is creative and what is not creative. Like, I hated accounts and finance from the bottom of my heart and thought it's the dullest subject. Later on, when I moved up in my career, I was actually forced to learn this subject. I still hated it and started working with chartered accountants, thinking that they will solve this problem and I can still continue my focus on what is really creative, which was generating strategic ideas and designing processes. But I was completely wrong. And again, as I kept on moving up the ladder, I was forced to deep down into accounts and finance. And I realized two things. A, accounts is so much integrated with the processes which we design. If one has knowledge of both the areas, they can create wonders. And this actually inspired me to explore this area further. And I learned something else. Once I explored this area, I realized that designing your finance is altogether a different art. It's just not a boring table. There's an art. Balance sheet of every company is actually a story. And now, in fact, to every new company I try to help, the first thing I ask them is to show their financials. And I learned that I should never allow my mind to differentiate what is creative versus what is not. Creativity is actually in your approach towards handling the task and not really the task you are dealing with. Moving to the second most important reason where I feel engineers or freshers struggle a lot because they think theories and practical are different. Even for the topics you have learned in your engineering, you will frequently hear from your seniors stating that welcome to the real world. Theory and practicals are different. And when we believe in this statement, we suddenly kill the relevance of our entire education, at least in our mind. And that's the saddest part. How can theory and practical be different when theories are actually written by somebody's practical experience? Most inventions or theories will be written after somebody's lifelong experience in gaining mastery over a particular domain. What's lacking here actually is the knowledge of application. Every theory can't be applied the same way in all situations. This is where we need to learn something called adaptation, and that's difficult. It requires deep thinking, and most people give up here. Maybe this is the reason we see 90% of humans on this earth live mediocre and dissatisfied career. Is they simply decide to follow what's working anyway. The theories you have learned are amazing, but in my opinion, 80 to 90% of those theories are never utilized by engineers or professionals in the lifetime. Why? Because I feel they make it a choice. It's up to you on what choice do you take in your life. When you see the challenge in your professional career, do you want to recall the theories you have exposed to and see how to apply or adapt that in this situation? Be creative, or keep thinking that theory and practical are different and simply follow what's working till now and keep giving mediocre performance. In fact, at J. Hirani, we are one of the very few organizations in the world which only hires fresher and try to stay away from experienced professionals. Why? Because we are seeking for people who are excited to apply the theories they have learned in the real world and help us reduce the gap between theories and practical. In nutshell, if I want to summarize this speech in few lines, then what I would say is learning is a lifelong process, not just the theories, but also how to apply them. Following or observing somebody is definitely not bad, but that can't be the only source of learning. You need to learn how to learn on your own. Business is a web of various domain knowledge and not just engineering. Your curiosities in different areas will broaden your perspective and give you the ultimate job satisfaction. Creativity is always an approach of handling the task and not the task or job profile which you will be offered. And at the end, um, as Mr. Nachiket requested me to touch base about the pandemic, I remembered one statement which I had written long back over LinkedIn. It stated that it's different, not difficult. While I see majority of world complaining about the pandemic, of course, I have to agree. It's definitely not a pleasing situation with so many people suffering through disease, so many people losing their life. It's very sad. But when I look at from a business angle, I only use one line. It's different, not difficult. Most of the time, we as a human, if we see something which we are not used to, we categorize it as difficult situation. But if we be honest and if we step down, if we think peacefully, you would say, okay, it's just a different. This is something which I have not seen before. Let me explore, right? If you remember yourself as a kid, walking was difficult, probably, right? But it's no more. All you have to do is accept the difference of yesterday and today. And once your mind really accepts that, okay, fine, this is a different situation. Maybe this is a remote working, maybe this is a remote learning. Maybe I get less opportunity to get in the situation physically, right? or there are many other aspects, maybe logistics, all those things. But if I my mind simply categorize it as a different situation rather than a difficult situation, then it'll be very easy for me to think, because suddenly my mind will open up. When I tell my mind that it's difficult, it blocks the thought. When I tell it different, it opens up the thought. So with this, I would end my speech here. I remember also myself as a student, and listening is very difficult. So, thanks you all once again for inviting me to this forum, and I wish all of you a really great career ahead. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Parth sir. And I now open up to the students for taking up the questions or queries or any clarification. And anyone can unmute himself or herself and ask the question. Anyone from the participants?
I see some
Adya,
people have raised hand. I
yes,
think
yes. Adya, you can go on. Adya.
yes.
So you are allowed to unmute yourself now. So you can
Yeah.
unmute and start, take up the question. Adya, please take it.
Adya, would you want to unmute
Okay.
yourself and speak out, or Khyati?
Or Kathy is also there. So Kathy, you can take it. Yeah.
Yes, Khyati. Please go ahead.
It's not audible.
Simardeep Singh.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Yes, yes. You can take the question, Simurdeep.
Yes.
sir, how can we make up our mind that there is a difference yesterday and today?
Well, I would say yesterday was Friday and today is Saturday. I'm
Yes,
sorry for giving probably such a simple answer, uh, but it's that simple. Yesterday, I would have come to your campus and maybe given this speech, and today I am addressing over Microsoft Teams. It's just as different as that. Now my mind can state. I mean, if I give very simple example, every month I used to go to at least 2 3 places and maybe deliver some speech. And the first time I was asked to deliver digitally, I hated it, if I be honest. Right? And I said, okay, because so when I speak, I walk across the room, I use my postures, natural gestures, and I'm no more good at it. Now I need like a paper in front of me. Right? Uh, for a period of time, I kept on thinking that it's difficult, it's not so fun. But then I said, okay, it is what it is. That's it. I can't stay in past. Today is Saturday, no more of Friday.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Sir, according to you, which is correct, that we should learn from our past, or we should walk towards our future?
What you should take from your past, right? A knowledge or information which is relevant today. I, of course, do not know tomorrow, or I have limited knowledge, or I have limited, I can think of limited possibilities of tomorrow. But while I'm thinking of what is today and what can be the possible tomorrow, I've learned or I've gained so much knowledge from my past. What can be the relevant knowledge and how can I apply that?
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's difficult also to answer this question in one way, because I do not know with what context you are asking to take it ahead, right?
Sir, I am asking that we should always think of our mistakes that we have done in past, or we have to move forward. into the future?
We should always move forward. We can't be stuck to the past. But of course, there are certain things in past. For example, I would always carry the values which I learned from my childhood and carry it ahead. Right? But I would not like to be rigid with the way I worked in past.
Okay, so we can take the next question. It's from Naman or Saurabh, who can ask the question. Naman,
Yes,
yes,
yes. Good
yes.
morning. Sir, my doubt is what are the skills required to form a company, to start a major company?
Uh, I would start with an attitude and then go to the skill.
Hmm.
Uh, if you are looking for starting a business or a company, first thing you need is an attitude of risk taking. And the skill which you need is calculating the risk which you are taking. Able to handle it or not. The second thing, again, what you need is an attitude to take the unforeseen situation. Because when you enter the company, I mean, uh, you are entering the world of uncertainties. Right? You are becoming an entrepreneur. You are becoming a risk taker. Of course, you will plan a lot of things. Right? You will talk to a lot of people. You will create your business plans. You'll work on your finances and a lot of different things you will do. But the greatest skill or greatest attitude which an entrepreneur requires is dealing with uncertainties peacefully, calmly, and ensuring that while you are fighting with the uncertainties, every day is giving you an unpredictable result. You are still maintaining peace and balance within your organization, and your fellow members don't get that pressure. And if I come to skill, I think there are a lot of things. Yes, as I mentioned, if you're running a business, maybe if you're creating a product and as an engineer, that's probably skill or knowledge you have. But you need to know how to manage your cash flows, your finances, your accounts, your costing, your team management, right? There's a whole different world into that. But the attitude is the critical thing. And the second, last attitude is lifelong learning. I hope I
So I
have
can
answered you, Naman.
let me. Can I add one thing to
Please,
Naman?
please, please,
So
please.
I guess anything which you want to start new, at least you should look to the problems in the society as an opportunity instead of looking it as a problem altogether. So maybe the situation of COVID and post-COVID will open up a lot many problems and therefore the opportunity for the young entrepreneurs. So Naman or anyone from the room, you can take it as a note that you can at least address one issue which will benefit the society and then go ahead with the roadmap. If Parth sir is agree with my point,
Excuse me,
we can add
sir.
something.
Is it possible for a single person to do all these things?
Of course, and most businesses start with a single person idea. I'm using the word most, not all.
Not all.
Most entrepreneurs start alone. And I would also like to highlight one fact. And Mr. Nachiket, thanks very much for sharing this idea. Even if I say in my early career, when I was actually into audits, and I was working in US, and I was really pissed off with the way companies manage their processes and all those things. And I complained to my director that how are these people running their companies? And they said that see, if they are running it perfectly, you and I will be jobless. That's an opportunity for us. it's a
Correct. Correct.
And I would also like to highlight here that if there are entrepreneurs in this room, we are soon starting an incubation center from January 21. And if there are people with great business ideas in product, we are looking forward to incubate them.
So, so that is one of the fantastic idea.
Yeah, and
Actually,
we are also launching an acceleration fund along with incubation center. So
incubation. Let us have a discussion on another note as to how we can collaborate with you, like at the institution level, so that at
certainly,
least we can also have an incubation center at our school.
certainly, we will be really happy to have young students coming up with new ideas on how they can change the world.
Fantastic. So these are the talks, these are the initiatives where new ventures can open up. So
Certainly,
thanks a lot.
we'll be excited for that.
Yes.
Yes.
So next question from Bhavya is Bhavya, are you there? She is
Yes,
there.
yes, I'm there.
You can take up your question.
Sir, I would like to ask that in our Bharati Vidyapeeth, there are four branches related to computer sciences. Three to four branches. So,
Bhavya,
sir,
Bhavya, can I request you to repeat your first line? I'm sorry, I could not hear clearly.
sir, in this college, Bharati Vidyapeeth, we have three to four branches related to computer sciences.
Okay.
So, sir, in fourth year, when a student is placed, does branches have a vital role to play during placements? This 2 to 3 subjects difference, or it totally depends upon the skill of the student?
Okay. Um, of course, I do not know which four branches, but I would
Like
say
sir,
that.
yes,
Pardon?
CSC,
Hmm.
CSC, CE, CSBS, and IT.
Okay, okay. With my limited knowledge, I would still say that yes, it plays a vital role. How? To decide what I love to do. Um, I would also not go essential on where am I good at as on today. Right? Partially, I would go there because where I'm good at, maybe somewhere I love to do it, and that's why I'm good at something. But what I feel, to be honest, every knowledge is required in this world. And it's not, I would not look at it that this stream has high job potential or there are more recruiters coming. I mean, that's the way I think, not necessarily entire world thinks in that way. The way I think is what I enjoy doing the most, and I will excel myself in that topic so much that world keeps on looking for me. So yes, it is a vital decision. It's a very essential decision to really think peacefully. What would I love to do? 20 years of my life or 30
Yes.
years or maybe entire life. This is what I may end up doing. Will I really enjoy it?
So, would like to add 2, 3 examples in it to the Bhavya, maybe to the Bhavya or all the students attendees in the room. So there are few examples where a career from a guy or a career from a student has started in some branch of engineering, and they have made up their career in some certain other sector where, which was certainly not their own degree or specialization. So everyone knows Narayan Murthy sir, the founder of Infosys. So
Yes.
Infosys is definitely an IT company. We can say it as a related to IT products, IT services. But then he himself is not an IT engineer. He was electrical by background. So this itself can give you a bigger picture where your passion should be there to suit your role of interest. The Larsen and Toubro brothers, the founders of L&T, they both were chemical engineers altogether. So, and they started in every sector. So uh, please mute yourself, whoever. So the specialization will only give you the logical thinking part where you can improve your logic uh, aspect of the engineering career, but then the sector in which you will be grooming yourself will be definitely of your own passion. No one can tell you what your passion is. Only you can tell yourself what your interest and passion is, and you should identify your interest, and then you can go ahead. So there's no early time or no late. At any point of your life, you can start with getting with your own interest areas. So, Parth sir, we have taken up around about say 5, 6 questions now, and there are few still hands up. What I can do is that I will get the questions on the internal mail portal. Let me compile it, and then I can reach out to you for possible clarifying solutions to it. So with this note and with this
Definitely.
beautiful, definitely, sir. With this forum and the talk for today, that is how to apply your theoretical and practical knowledge into the corporate world, or I can say entrepreneurial world. Every student in this room can take the guidelines and takeaways from today's session as to start applying from your first year itself, start applying from wherever you are. Some of you might be in third year, some of you might be in first year or second year. Wherever you are studying, start applying from today. Have few real-time projects. If you are from computer background or IT background, develop some apps on maybe on Android or iOS, or you can start with a small web development. If you are from an core background, maybe a mechanical or a chemical or a civil or electrical, you can start with a small hardware related projects and apply whatever you get to learn from the subjects. So I thank Parth sir for sharing your valuable knowledge as well as time with all the students and faculty members in this room. I thank to our management of Bharati Vidyapeeth and Bharati Vidyapeeth Deemed University, our principal sir, Dr. Anugrah sir, all the head of the departments, the faculty members, and the students. So let us conclude with the today's session. Thanks a lot, sir. Have a nice day and have a nice weekend too. And
Thank
stay
you,
safe.
sir.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. All the head of the departments, the faculty members, and the students.
Thank you very much, sir.
So
Thank
let
you,
us
sir.
conclude with the today's session. Thanks a lot, sir. Have a nice
Thank you,
day and
sir.
have a nice weekend too. And
Thank
stay
you,
safe.
sir.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. All the head of the departments, the faculty members, and the students.
Thank you very much, sir.
So
Thank
let
you,
us
sir.
conclude with the today's session. Thanks a lot, sir. Have a nice
Thank you,
day and
sir.
have a nice weekend too. And
Thank
stay
you,
safe.
sir.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. All the head of the department.